Today is Monday, August 25th. Today is the last Monday of the Huel 30-Day Shake Challenge. Now, I was going to say today is the last Monday that I go without eating real food, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to be the case. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to do 3 shakes a day after this 30-day challenge is up, but I do think there's a lot to be said for the simplification of calorie counting on this shake system. I tried calorie counting several years ago, probably over 10 now. I was in the high 200s weight-wise, and I created a blog called Rejecting 300 and decided that I was not going to let myself get to 300 pounds. So, well over that now, but at the time, I did the calorie counting thing. Now, I used a website called caloriecount.com. I plugged in everything I ate. When I went out to eat somewhere, I tracked everything I ate. I kept track of how much I was eating. I wrote down the calories in a little notebook if they had it on their menu, but back then you weren't required to, so not a lot of places did. I would keep track of the calories in every ingredient that I made into a meal when I cooked at home. I plugged everything in to this caloriecount.com. Then I also tracked all of my activity and exercise, and I published all of it on my blog every single day. I did pictures once a week. I did side-by-side comparisons after like the first month. I did weigh-ins every week. It got exhausting very quickly. I don't even think I did it for a year before, number one, the trolls came out to play, and I was like, why the fuck am I doing this if I'm just going to get trolled? One of the trolls decided to start problems in my relationship, not with my current husband, because he's way too smart for that, but for my ex, because he was kind of dumb, and told him a bunch of shit that wasn't true, claimed that I was basically saying shit about him on the blog that wasn't true, and instead of just going and reading it himself to find out that it wasn't true, he believed the troll, came to confront me, and when I was like, that's not true, go look at the blog yourself, he was like, no. I'm like, it's in black and white, there's obvious evidence, and he just didn't want to do that. The irony being that the first thing that she's tried to start shit with was claiming that I told everybody that he couldn't read on the blog, and I was like, go read the blog and see for yourself. Now, I knew he could read, but he refused to go read the blog where I never said that he couldn't read. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, like, it was too much work. Calorie counting was a lot of work under those circumstances, but with these Huel shakes, it is not at all. It is so easy because it's either you're having 200 calories or you're having 400 calories, or you're having less if you just skip a meal entirely. And that happens a lot. Like, I'll just skip breakfast, or I'll have a 200 calorie shake for breakfast and then skip lunch and then have a 400 calorie shake for dinner. Like, when I first started this, one of my best friends at the dog park was like, 1,200 calories seems like a lot. And I was like, what rock have you been living under? Because to me, 1,200 calories seemed really low. And that's what everybody, when I said 1,200 calories, everybody was like, that's really low. Are you sure that's going to be enough? And for the first couple of days when we were out trying to like do physical labor on 1,200 calories, we were like, this is not enough, because we were getting sick and lightheaded. But our bodies seem to have adapted, because I started doing 800 calories and less in a day, not because I was trying to, but because I just didn't need more. My body was not asking for more. So I'm adapting to a much lower caloric intake, which makes sense because I have an extremely, what's the word when you don't get up and do anything? I have that, sedentary lifestyle. No, that's geology. I think I have a very sedentary lifestyle. My brain's not working. It's early. So, yeah, I gotta say, like, if you guys are even remotely considering Huel, we're getting close to the end, and I can't complain. I really can't. I mean, is it the most delicious tasting thing I've ever put in my mouth? No. But is it absolutely the easiest way to lose weight I've ever experienced in my life? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I can't even believe how fast my life has changed from these Huel shakes, and how much it's changed in such a short amount of time. I am very impressed with this product.